Welcome to Cannversations with South Point Hemp, where we extract the BS from cannabis. I'm your host, Annie Stanfield, with my co-host, Professor D. What up, Professor D?
What up, Annie? Well, let's kind of just talk about a little bit about why a podcast.
Why a podcast? Yeah, because this is the last thing I thought I would be doing right now.
Same.
But no, I've been in sales and education with South Point Hemp for almost 3 years, and I've discovered that there is so much misinformation out there.
Yes.
About this plant.
Yes.
And some of it's funny, and some of it's just borderline sad.
Yeah.
And so I figured, what better way to reach the masses with education and a little bit of humor than to do a podcast.
Yeah, they have the in-depth conversations.
Yes, very much so. So yeah, a little bit about why I got into it. I started off when I was a massage therapist. I was doing CBD massages, and that kind of got me interested in why people were requesting it.
Right.
And so after reading and learning about it, one client, it helped her sleep. Another client said it helped his arthritis. Another one sat there and said it calmed him. And it was all these different reactions from the same CBD massage oil I was using.
Yeah. Just a matter of having that topical right there at the, source of the
right.
problem. Yeah.
Each person was experiencing something different. Mm-hmm. And it's not like I was using anything different. Mm-hmm. And so the more I looked into it and the more I researched CBD, and I found out, how it helps all the different body systems and different things to Parkinson's with my mother-in-law. And so I sent her education. I sent her some videos and studies and different things, trying to, take that fear of, oh my gosh, it's marijuana.
Right. And that's where I feel like, with especially with the topical, that really breaks it, because there is no risk,
right,
per se, of a psychoactive reaction or anything. It basically is just the skin's still your biggest organ on your body, so it's basically just a matter of getting it there without ever having any kind of risk. And it really is kind of, for me, is kind of the entry level for most.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, because it is low risk, and a lot of people are always afraid of this, extreme high or euphoric, state, where I believe that's probably one of the best ways to introduce cannabis to most people.
Absolutely. Absolutely. She, with her, she was up for like 72 hours at a time because her tremors were so bad. Oh. And so that's when she finally decided that, it's either deep brain stimulation or something. Mm-hmm. And so I drove 5 hours, gave her a bottle of CBD, and that night she slept 8 hours.
Oh, yeah.
After not sleeping at all.
Yeah, just a rest, especially for neurological.
Oh, absolutely. And so she, she liked it and she tried it, and so seeing her reaction kind of made me more of a believer. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And that's when I really started digging deep into what all this plant was capable of.
Yeah.
And here I am 3 years later.
3 years later. Oh gosh. So let me count back now. Probably almost 16, 17 years ago now, pushing that. What got me into cannabis is a real good friend of mine was battling cancer. Was going through chemo, was losing a lot of weight, and all of a sudden he wasn't. All of a sudden he was gaining weight. He's getting better. He's, way more active, way more calm. And so I was sitting in the hospital room with him, and he's laying in bed, and I was like, man, you've gained like 35, 40 pounds in chemo, Wayne. Like, what's going on here, And he's like, dude, I've been smoking pot, like, every chance I get. He goes, it is tremendous how much it has helped. And having a knee injury, very similar to what he had dealt with pre-cancer, knowing I was dealing with a lot of chronic pain, a lot of neurological damage, nerve pain, he told me, he's like, dude, he's like, hands down, man, it's one thing that takes away my knee pain. It was way better than any opiate. And at that time, we were both on a lot of heavy opiates, not just from our injuries, but also from him going through, the cancer treatment he was. They were trying to do everything to make him feel comfortable. And so that kind of opened my eyes a little bit more. I had experienced cannabis a little bit, in high school here and there, at a party or something. Normally you were drinking.
Not me. I was the good girl.
Yeah, and somebody might have had a joint. So you never really, it was never really feeling the effect of just that. There was always something else going on. So that's kind of what led me into it. And then I didn't try it for a while. I was in trades. I had a lot of drug tests and everything. I did not want to run that risk, and the stigma just behind it just kind of kept me still I avoided it. Even though I just seen a really good dear friend of mine reap benefits from it. I stayed away for a while. And then just happened to be with some friends, and the whole room was full of smoke. They're passing the joint around. I was like, at this point I've got enough secondhand, I might as well just hit it. So I hit it, and I was sitting there, and I go, oh my gosh, guys, I don't feel my leg. And they're like, oh yeah, you're high. I was like, no, you guys don't understand. Like every single second, every day, I have a spear of pain that goes through the front of my knee and ends at my hip. Always there. I don't feel that. And for me, that was, nearly a decade of dealing with that kind of chronic pain and nerve damage. That was just straight relief. So then found out that was a cannabis sativa, so that really sent me down the rabbit hole. And then kind of led me out west, where I learned how to cultivate it. I learned everything I could about anything and everything. I made my own tinctures. I made rough extracts, I made candy for myself, made anything I could to be able to medicate and try not to over-medicate back in those days, because it was very cowboy style. But that's kind of up to there. Just whenever you're your own patient, you really kind of learn techniques, different things. And from there, it led to my knowledge of extraction. It led to my knowledge of cultivation, harvesting, preserving, medicating, and pretty much dosing.
Oh wow! Yeah, it's amazing how just a little bit of education is all it takes, and it just completely opened your eyes.
Oh yes.
I mean, if you would have told me 5 years ago that I would not only have be a proponent of cannabis, but
right.
I would be podcasts of all things.
Yeah, right.
Sitting there singing the praises of weed, or whatever. I would not have believed you. This was not on my, bingo card.
Yeah.
But
so it was pretty funny because I got to meet you very kind of at the beginning of your cannabis experiences. So
I'm still a lightweight.
Yeah, it was really it was really neat, and it's kind of eye-opening to me and humbling as well, because there's been so much more information out.
Oh, absolutely.
Back when I first started trying to do my knowledge dives and stuff, there was nothing.
Right.
I was scouring through a lot of documents from Israel, because they were one of the only places that had somewhat of, and most of those were from the 50s, 60s, and 70s, so I think it's a really great time to be kind of alive as well, because so much about the cannabis plant has been forgotten.
Oh, absolutely.
Due to prohibition of, 1937, we're fast forward, we're pushing 90 years, and, it's just crazy to me, because at one time a lot of this stuff was known, and now it's not, and we're really having to relearn so much.
Oh, yeah. 80 years ago, doctors prescribed cannabis. There are 20 different medications with cannabis in it. Yeah. And you were to the doctor today, and it'd be, oh, absolutely not. I'm not going to touch that. I'm never going to, Yeah. It's like,
at
where
one
did
time,
things go?
That was a whole AMA, catalog.
Right.
Prescription.
So, yep. So we are out here trying to educate the masses and kind of demystify
right.
this plant. So,
and for sure, because there's so much out there now, like I said, that we're just really sitting in. There's just a lot more studies, a lot more knowledge, a lot more exposure,
Absolutely.
is the biggest thing. And just trying to, as we say, extract the BS from the industry, because a lot of people don't always know quite the right information.
Absolutely.
So, and I mean, same with us, this is basically to, the best of our understanding at the moment.
Absolutely.
Because there's been a lot of stuff that's been contradicted in the near 20 years of me doing this,
I've listened to things in the past 3 years and things have changed.
Yeah.
And we'll get into a whole lot of things in the future podcasts about, different myths and things that have been busted and changed and debunked. So, but yeah, I think this was a good start.
And just the tip of the iceberg.
Absolutely. Well, we thank you guys for tuning in with us, and we hope you join us on our journey to extract the BS from cannabis. So we'll catch you at the next episode.
On to the next episode.